Let's start with observational skills. 35 square is 625. 35 square is 1225. So you would have seen squares of numbers ending in 5 will end in 25. So if I ask you 45 square, you would definitely know it ends in 25. But what would be the answer? 2025, right? So I hope you are able to see the pattern. So if I ask you 55 square, what will be the answer? So the pattern you have to establish is like, if it is 25 square, you get 625. So how is 6? 2 into 3. So when the question is 35 square, it is 1225, which is 3 into 4. And 45 square is 4 into 5. So if I ask you 55 square, yes, you would be able to get the answer as 3025, which is 5 into 6. 65 square, right, which is 6 into 7. 4225. So 75 square would be easy. 7 into 8, 56, followed by 25. Let's see this pattern for some more numbers. Okay, so let's talk about 103. So 103 square is 106 followed by 09. Okay, 104 square is 108 followed by 16. So are you able to connect? Are you able to connect? So 3 square, right? And 3 into 2. So here 4 square. So if I ask you 105 square, right? 5 square is 25 and 5 into 2, 10. So 100 plus 10. So if I ask you 106 square, should not be a problem, right? Yes, 6 square 36 and 6 into 2, 12. So similarly, 107 square, right? 7 twos are 14 and 7 square 49. So if I ask you 108 square, it will be easy, right? Your answer would be 116 followed by 64. Isn't it interesting to see the patterns of squares? Won't you agree that you would prefer this pattern method instead of using calculator to solve squares of such numbers? No wonder one of my most popular class on mathematics has always been Vedic Mathematics. Students simply love the pattern tracing method. In fact, they always have asked me this pertinent question in the class. Why is Vedic maths not taught in schools? Be it for the preparation of entrance exam like CAT, CLAT, IPM, SAT, GRE, GMAT, or in fact, even in real life. Don't you think it's important that students are able to do mental calculations? And that's where Vedic mathematics comes to our rescue. In this video, I'll try simplifying Vedic mathematics through the following set of questions. And let's try to find answers to the question, why Vedic maths should be taught in school. So is Vedic mathematics just a pack of some calculation tricks? The answer is absolutely no. Vedic mathematics is just not only pure calculation shortcut tricks and techniques. In fact, Vedic mathematics is like a mental model framework that covers both elemental and advanced mathematics. In fact, Vedic mathematics is based on the simple principles with which any mathematical problem, be it arithmetic, algebra, geometry, or trigonometry, can be solved mentally. So the question is, what is Vedic mathematics? Who discovered it? Vedic mathematics is the name given to the ancient Indian system of mathematics, which was rediscovered from Atharva Veda somewhere in early 20th century by Sri Bharti Krishna Tirthaji. So it consists of 16 sutras and 13 subsutras. The sutras, in fact, cover almost every branch of mathematics. So how Vedic is Vedic mathematics? You know, ancient Indians did not differentiate between mathematics and spirituality. The word Vedic means pertaining to knowledge. It comes from the Sanskrit word Veda, which is repository of all knowledge in the universe. According to Tirthaji, there has been considerable literature on Veda Shakas in ancient times, but unfortunately, most of it has been lost to humanity. So what is this sutras? The sutras, so the total 16 sutras and 13 sub-sutras provide not only the methods of calculation, but also ways of mental thinking. They provide a general framework for problem solving wherever rational thought is required. You can call a sutra as it includes a wide range of applications, something like a programmed chip of our computer age. So let's understand this word sutras with some examples. Let's start with Yavadunam deficiency. Yavadunam is one of the 16 sutras, which means deficiency. And this is based on mental process involved. So it's like a generalization process. So the philosophy is when something unexpected happens in our life, we try to comprehend the event by looking at a wider picture. So let's understand this mathematically. So if you come across a calculation, 198 plus 247. So I would say, let's say you don't have a paper. How do you do it mentally? So you would prefer to read 198 as 200. So 200 plus 247. Now that is easy. You can do it mentally and get the answer as 447. So there was this deficiency of 2. So you reduce 2 from 447 and you get the final answer as 445. Right. So this makes sense where I don't want to use paper and I want to do the calculation mentally. Let's talk about another sutra, which is Ekadikena Purvena, which means one more than the previous. Now, Ekadikena Purvena mathematically means the process of starting out from an idea and moving forward with an intention. Now, that's heavy, right? Now, let's understand in terms of some numbers. So let's relate this sutra to the squares of numbers ending in 5, which we have done in the beginning. So you have seen 45 square is 4 into 5 followed by 25, right? So the sutra in this context gives a procedure to multiply the previous digit 4 by 1 more than itself, which is 5. So now it's easy. 55 square is 5 into 6, that is 3025. 65 square is 4225. 75 square is 5625. Right. Moving on to the next sutra, which is Vilokanam, which essentially means by means of simple observation. Now, interestingly, Vilokanam appears in the list of sub-sutras. And this one connects to human psychology related to perception and intuition. So if you come across x plus 3 is 40, right? So in this perspective method, the idea is what should be added to 37 so that you get 40. So rather than the conventional method, which is 40 minus 3, I get x is 37. Here, the perspective method is used. Let me give you another example. So if you have a question, x plus 1 by x equal to 2. So in Vilokanam method, rather than getting into quadratic and solving it step by step, here you would try to think what is that number on the left-hand side, right? Which on adding. So the number plus its reciprocal gives you 2. So try solving it. You can actually see it's the number 1, right? 1 plus 1 by 1 gives you 2. Right, so you can essentially call it as a perspective method. Moving on to one of the very popular sutra, which is Urdhva Triyabhyam, which means vertically and crosswise. So let's say you have this multiplication of 2-digit numbers. So 41 into 32. So in our conventional method, we start with 2 ones are 2, 2 fours are 8. Then 3 ones are 3, 3 fours are 12. And you get the answer as 1312. Correct? Now in this method, Urdhva Triyabhyam, what we do is we just write the first digit 41 and below that we write 32. And then the order is a simple order. So if you see, you multiply 2 into 1. That's the first step. Then the second step is cross multiply. So 2 into 4 plus 3 into 1. So 4 into 2 is 8. 8 plus 3 is 11. Right. And you're not allowed to write 11. You will only write 1 and the remaining is carry forward. And finally, you have the vertical multiplication, which is 4 into 3. So you get your answer as 12. 8 plus 3, remember I said you will add the carryover to the remaining, to the neighbor. So you get 1, 3, 1, 2. Now in this method, if you see, you're hardly writing any steps. Whereas here, you need to write steps to get to your answer. And you can actually say that this can be done as a perspective method, because 41 into 32, you would know your answer is like 1200 something, right? And if you want the exact answer, you can just follow this procedure, which is vertical, crosswise, and again vertical. And you get the answer as 1, 3, 1, 2. So let's address the most important question in this video, which is, why do we need Vedic mathematics when we already have a textbook mathematics? I'll call it as a modern mathematics. So what is the use of Vedic mathematics? Vedic mathematics is a fluid way of learning mathematics compared to the rigid, fixed, conventional approach which is used in modern mathematics. Vedic mathematics involves learning the beauty of mathematics through patterns, and it gives a lot of space for creativity. Here, the questions are solved based on the context and perspective. In fact, Vedic mathematics was designed in the way how human mind works. So you can very well say that in 21st century, it is the organic solution. So let's reiterate the scope of Vedic mathematics in bullet points. Vedic mathematics, in fact, work on the way your mind works. It's based on how the human mind works. It is a pattern recognition method. So this method definitely helps us to have a focus and definitely reduces the conflict of mind. There is so many different ways of solving. So it gives you the flexibility. And definitely it is an integrated approach to solve questions on mathematics. Also, Vedic mathematics, it is an intuitive thought process. It definitely promotes the flexibility. Approximation is always welcome over the perfect method of getting an exact answer. And definitely this always talks about the perspective. Can you predict the answer before even you start solving the question, right?
चाहूंगा सभी माता पिता अपने बच्चों को वैदिक गणित जरूर सिखाएं। इससे उनका कॉन्फिडेंस तो बढ़ेगा ही, उनके ब्रेन की एनालिटिकल पावर भी बढ़ेगी। और हाँ, गणित को लेकर कुछ बच्चों में जो भी थोड़ा बहुत डर होता है, वो डर भी पूरी तरह समाप्त हो जाएगा।
Our Prime Minister also clearly stresses the need for teaching Vedic mathematics in schools. In my 20 years of teaching experience, I have frequently come across students who have this fear of mathematics. And here, Vedic mathematics offers a solution with its pattern tracing, flexible approach. In fact, Vedic mathematics addresses the psychological problem of students, which is anxiety. So the list of 16 sutras and 13 sub-sutras not only covers basic calculation. In fact, it covers calculus, algebra, geometry. I would be taking a detailed Vedic maths masterclass. Please ensure that you like and subscribe to this channel so that you get the notification. And yes, I would be curious to know your comments on Vedic mathematics. Please put in the comment section. Thank you. Now let's see, what does mathematicians say about Vedic mathematics. The famous French mathematician Henri Poincaré, he said, intuition is more important to discovery than logic. So Professor Manjul Bhargava, Indian origin mathematician who won the Field Award Medal in 2014, which is actually the Nobel equivalent in the field of mathematics research. And at a young age of 28, he became the youngest professor at Princeton University. So he has this interesting take. Professor Bhargava says the inspiration behind his discoveries has been the classic works of ancient Indian mathematicians. He followed the Sanskrit shlokas India has to be its own cultural ambassador. It has to bring alive all those beautiful works of the country that are not yet known to the public at large, but in a scientific manner. Bharti Krishna Tirthaji, in fact, the one who rediscovered Vedic mathematics, he says that Vedic mathematics is a gift to the nation that teaches maths in a mental model approach in an easy way. Srinivas Ramanujan, the Indian mathematician, he followed intuitive approach and had an exceptional ability to see patterns. He often used natural mathematical intuition rather than formal conventional method of proofs.
If we could look so closely, we could see each grain, each particle. You see, there are patterns in everything.